Hi everybody, I'm Pastor Steve Green. Today is Thursday, May 21st. This is refresh number 2 for this week. Our subject is boundaries, a key to godly and healthy relationships. On Sunday we compared relationships to neighbors, to two property owners, and of course between the two properties there would be a property line or a boundary line, and everything on one side of that line would belong to the one person, and everything on the other side of that property line would belong to their neighbor. And as simple as that is, and it is very simple, and I like the illustration for that reason. We can all imagine it. As simple as that is, when we transfer that idea to relationships, sometimes it becomes blurred. What we're saying is that each of us have things that are on our side of the boundary, things that only we can control, things that we would then have responsibility for. These would include things like feelings, attitudes, beliefs, behaviors, choices, values, limits, talents, thoughts, desires, and words, many things, of course, that other people can't manage for us. They belong to us, and we need to manage them. And so with this illustration in mind, let's go down through a checklist of ways in which, when it comes to relationships, as simple as this illustration is, things can go wrong. For example, it is wrong for others to overstep their boundaries and to try to manage what is mine. A person might do this for different motives. It might be for purely selfish motives, or they may believe they're helping me if they do that, but it is wrong for them to overstep. As I think we can all agree, is we all do have our hands full endeavoring to manage what belongs to us without trying to control or manipulate other people. Equally, and this is obvious, it would be wrong for me to overstep somebody else's boundaries, and for whatever motive I may have, whatever good motive I may think I have, it would nevertheless be wrong. It would be a breach in the relationship. It wouldn't be loving the other person to try to dictate, control, manage, or direct what belongs to them, what God has given to them to manage. It is, in keeping with these ideas, it is wrong to try to make or to imagine or to accuse somebody else of being responsible for the things that fall within my boundary. This is something that is very common in the human race. It's been happening ever since Adam and Eve. Adam said to God, the reason why he disobeyed, he needed to take 100% responsibility for his own actions, but he said it was because of the woman. And not just the woman, it was the woman that God gave him. That's why he had to sin. It was partly God's fault as well. And so we can see that right from the beginning of the human race, this has been a tendency to try to make other people responsible for what belongs to us. We're talking about boundaries, what belongs to others, what belongs to us, and how having a keen sense of where the boundary line is helps us to have godly and healthy relationships. Sometimes in a relationship, both parties are overstepping the boundaries, and it's mayhem, it's chaos. Everybody's on the other person's side of the boundary trying to make them do things or make them stop doing things. Now here's a key point. It'll be our final point in this refresh message, is it's wrong for me to permit another person into my area of responsibility because I will feel guilty for denying them that access, or I'm afraid of losing their affection and honor. As wrong as it is for them to overstep the boundary and try to manage what belongs to me, it is equally wrong for me to permit it, particularly if I have selfish motives, just as they may have selfish motives. I might be allowing them. I might be a very, very, very nice person, tolerant of many things, perhaps some things I shouldn't, not because I love other people, but because I'm afraid that unless I cater to other people's wishes, I will no longer be popular with them. And I have to be honest in that case. If I'm getting used, if I'm getting abused, as again, it is not right for the other person to do that, but I also share in the wrong because I am permitting it to happen. Not only am I permitting it to happen, I'm doing it for selfish reasons. That's a good, very, very good question for us to ask ourselves is as we're going about our daily lives, again, doing what we all do, being kind, being courteous, being friendly, endeavoring to be helpful to other people, to slow down for a minute and ask ourselves, am I doing this because of love, or am I doing this because of fear? Not to condemn ourselves or to put ourselves down, bury ourselves under guilt and blame, but in order that we can properly evaluate what is going on and make adjustments where necessary. Love and fear are not compatible. They're opposites. They're mutually exclusive. In 1 John 4:18, it says, perfect love casts out fear. That's our refresh message for today.